Welcome back to the first heavy sprayed rain day. Santa Cruz rain season 2025. Today is November 13th, and I've been visiting Santa Cruz over 22 years. And part 2 of today's video is brought to you by Machu Picchu. Yerba mate drinks out of Santa Monica, man. I got this, baby. This was the last one they had at the Go Grocery Outlet for 99 cents, man. And this has 120 milligrams of caffeine, 0 sugar, but it's sweet with the erythritol, fully delicious. And of course, the favorite bebop piano player of all time in the background with your heavy duty sprayed rain. And I suppose the Archon got me to click on the computer to make this into 2 videos. Some part of me must have agreed with it. Maybe the part of me that wanted to agree with my friend who has a channel called the Near Death Experience requested that I make shorter videos. So maybe the part of my soul or essence agreed with the Archon, agreed with it so that I could send that to him. So this is part 2 of leaving the Soul-Scalping Loosh farm. So what can you do? This is the big question so many of us have these days. What can you do when a fucking hair goes in your reading glasses, shoves in your eyeball while you're trying to record a video? Just to extract the loosh. There it is, just one little... just up in your face. Just the most irritating little stupid shit. You know. Of course, as I was saying in part 1, you could, if you're a master, you can learn how to be not predictable. Don't believe or the Matrix will ever even know, let alone control your value and worth. This is why they can't get me down. This is why. If there is such a thing as a shadow ban, that it doesn't mess with my head in the long term. Because it's about thinking about the big picture, folks. It's about looking at your whole entire existence and the one before that and the future if you can, or just what is your goal and your essence's blueprint. What is it that you want to receive and give in this? If anything, besides being a human farm animal, I mean, what left do you have to do before you can let it go? Okay, so I'm not cute, rich, compelling, or a capitalist, so I cannot exist here. Balderdash. You know, I have to learn to be adaptable. I have to learn more skills or learn. If I want to have an audience, I have to be willing to be flexible, you see, because that doesn't mean I'm being controlled. It's just a matter of discernment. Like so many things in this existence. And can I discern how to stay safe around this environment? On a personal level, the narcissist scalps your soul and guts your essence every day you stay in that house or apartment with them. Every day you live in that car with them. Every day you stay in that trauma-bonded existence. In that fantastic suckfest, that laundry cycle of abuse, of fantasy and hell. Every day you feel that, right? Every day you feel like your essence and your soul is getting gutted. It is a great challenge to accept the unacceptable fact that to participate in the matrix, the stolen, borrowed, brilliantly hijacked and rented, codependent, small, little me ego in the flesh suit, frantically, perpetually worried, stuck in fucking survival mode is a lie. That's not who I really am. It's not who you really are. It's fake. It is the lie. Realizing the infiltration in truther communities and the fact that the New Age movement was created by Luciferians, as I've said many times. And that roughly 96% of the New Cage and disclosure movements are sponsored grifters and liars. It's all good in the hood. Let go and let God. God will take care of everything. Just get on your knees and suck it, or wait for the aliens to come down and save you. They're not going to harm you and fuck you, and psychologically, at least, if not, if you don't get abducted physically, and certainly they're not going to scalp your soul every day. No, that'll never happen. It's very easy to get disheartened at this phase in your enlightenment or your awakening journey, but never forget the essence. Thieves and soul scalpers only care about what they can take. Learning to get out of your body now, like remote viewing or astral traveling, wherever you want to call it, or even to begin with the part of it I've definitely done, lucid dreaming. When you learn to lucid dream, you learn to get out of your body, remote viewing, or some try to do it with psychedelic plants. I don't know. But if you learn it now, or if you've already learned it, while you are still residing in it, while you're still in the body, okay? This is why we say, this is why I study with remote viewers. I'm not certain I believe all of them. But if they are telling the truth, it gives you a lot of information. Not only that, but it's basically like remote viewing, getting out of your body is like you temporarily, they say it takes a lot of energy. And it's like you temporarily are experiencing your divine powers now, right? You're getting to experience that temporarily. Like maybe how I felt when I wrote or channeled my best tune, or the highest sexual encounter, or the greatest artwork you ever made. Brings you closer to your true self, which is, again, why I don't really feel that this is entirely a hell realm. You just have to create something that's not a filthy, stupid hell in your life. Because, again, Keith, Joshua, who I met searching for Keith online, you ain't going to find the real good guys, the real boots on the ground, the real savior, the real, white hats, Team Lightside, anywhere else but within. That's the point. She, meaning the real original creator, is a feminine. And she did fuck up in the sense of creating Yaldabaoth with her hubris, her extreme DIY. And yeah, she's not perfect. Just like we're not. But yet, this is not only a hell, but it takes a lot of courage to do something besides be a resident or a prisoner or a slave in this hell realm. It takes a lot of courage to do something different. Knowing you are not your body, your lives, your mind cage, your prison thoughts, your self-hatred, knowing that you are not the stream of archonic filth, for sure, is a great, if you're with me on that, then you know what? You're closer to being ready to get the fuck out of here forever, right? These are your knowing you're not your job. These are all key, of course. Keys. I like the good non-vampiric part, or the original life. The original version of, my video that got deleted, where I mentioned that. I don't like the Matrix. I like Rain. I don't like killer geoengineered deluges from Yahweh. How will you live and how will you leave when you know unequivocally, beyond the shadow of a doubt, life and death in the Matrix are stolen, inverted hierarchies of filthy hells on earth, and they are evil and fully fake, so that the more invested you are in it, this is why it's so fucking amotivational to try to be successful here, or want to reproduce, or want to be a participant in the fucking suckfest, especially when you see how they do it financially. And now with the digital ID system. So the more invested you are in it, either in control or obedience, either as a slave master, a narcissist, tyrant, landlord bitch, or a slave bitch. Either way, if you're a human dog, if you're a human female dog or a slave, you're not doing good. And that's not about gender. Even if you refused the Humans 2.0 experiment, the more you are willing to toe the line of lies of the Ouroboros that you must remain a wage, tax, and or energy slave, the more soul scalped and harvested you are. I'm just telling you the obvious stuff, folks. Soul scalping is the rule. of every situation, at least on a subtle level, if you look at it in this place. And every day, you see it every day when there's drama, trauma, especially with young people under the age of 25, harvesting, possessing, steering them into a hellscape, mental landscape of trauma. The most archonically possessed rule the farm. Think about it. The most insane people run the crazy house called society. It's a complete inversion. The scum rise to the top. And then say, we try to make more and more rules to make it a tyranny. And you tell me that the Matrix isn't an inverted Ouroboros on a oblivion path of self-annihilation. You tell me it isn't. The sane, decent, respectful, alive essences will figure out ways to be in it and not of it. They ain't going to be like me. They ain't going to be in a tent. They're going to know that they've got to do something to stay off the radar, to participate in a way where they're compensated, where they're not stealing or giving too much, where they're taking and giving a respectful, harmonious exchange with their works. Wow. I mean, not to say that that happens very much, but, you know, it's a possibility that some folks are there. You know, it's a possibility that some can do that, you see? And, the aware and discerning will cut off and circumvent a Loosh extraction before it occurs. Do you understand that? Have you ever done that? It's very important that you learn that skill, and if you do, you will be very thankful that you learned it from me or whoever, from yourself. And you can do that if you believe, if you be truth in your mind that you can do that, you will. And you might even be given a little reward by the universe. You might run into a person that you really wanted to see 20 seconds after you cut off the Loosh extraction. Because Christ, Sophia, the divine good forces, they see these things. They see it. You can learn to discern how to recognize this constant feature of the second Bardo energy farm. You can deny the hell realm your energy, at least in some of the overt Loosh drain operations. And you can see why I'm hesitant to add to my rants playlist, because you see negativity and ranting and anger feeling anhedonic and not wanting to live and depressed all can feed into the archons. They love that energy. They love it. So you can learn to have the self-discipline to deny most of the energy that the hell realm tries to force you to give it, at least in some of the overt Loosh drain operations. Give unto Caesar. Maybe Chiron Last was right. It's correct in saying you have to let it all go to get out. That he had to become homeless, that he had to let go of his cushions and his material possessions, and to get through the eye of the needle to go through. But I personally don't feel that any kind of bodily or mental torture is going to be the way out. I don't know, because surely torture, especially self-torture, is a lovely delight for our Archon captors. So, I maintain the concept that to heal and escape the soul-scalping matrix, you have to do your best to honor the real divinity, Christ Sophia, within you. And whatever the fuck, or whatever the blessed deeds you can do in your flesh suit before you leave, that you still need to do. Let's say you believe there's such a thing as nirvana. So, assuming you're never going to have a flesh suit ever again, you better do the things that are good that you need to do before, so that you won't want to come back or be tempted. You see? So, if you're going to do those things, then, it's a different scenario. Because they will stop at nothing when you leave to tempt you, coerce you, terrify you, convince you, con you, coerce you, use fake informed consent to get you back. Okay? So, I feel it's best to honor your body's basic needs and not torture it. Feed it, meaning your flesh suit, what it needs, not what it craves. Like, for example, just eliminating sugar from the diet is a good thing for everyone, I'm sure. Because it's a poison that was brought here to kill us. It's a fake, you don't need it. Your parasites need it. The constant soul-sucking and Loosh harvests daily can lead to feeding, can lead to feeling amotivational. Are you motivated by an essence to escape or transcend this filthy fucking hell realm? That's what it's going to take. You're going to have to really have the essence, the motivation deep within you, someone like Joshua has to do what he's done, to shine light on this, to try to share, to help yourself and others get out, to try to do things that are truly altruistic or truly selfless, and in some moments even, not necessarily, but you're going to have to do your best to keep your motivation from your essence. I mean, it's easy for me to be a hypocrite and not say that and not do it, but can I actually be motivated from the essence? This is why I like to watch Chiron Last's talks, because he speaks to these issues. Hot sex with that 20-year-old girl is probably not good for your essence. Unless, of course, your lives are extremely compatible, or she's perfectly suited toward you in every way somehow, like, is, not an alien love bites, which in that case it would often be that, with May and December things, or any kind of sexual fantasy based in an ideal. Unaliving yourself, you just get wiped and recycled here again, of course. Renting or owning a legal box in Santa Cruz, how are you not going to become narcissistic or solipsistic if you are not wealthy? As you are forced to exist for the survival of your bloody flesh suit in that case. That's why it sucks. And then the coolest people, no matter how, if they're not rich or sharing in a community, they often become these ways no matter how cool they originally were. As you are being forced to exist for the survival of your bloody flesh suit, if you are just not questioning these things. Soul scalp survival on a loose farm is not life. It is not good for you. So, like Howdy Mikowski says, sanity may be the best revolution and revolt in a totally insane demiurgic world. How can you trick the vampire tricksters? How can you fake your essence? How can you take your essence back from the vampire jaws of endless death? Remember, isolation, infiltration, and competition are their rules, the archonic rules, that you have to fight against me and everyone else, and you have to keep me isolated if you're the controllers. It's all fake. The social rules of the Matrix are fraudulently based. The divine right to rule over others is a fake fraud. Tune in, turn on, and drop out. That was a meme from the CIA implanted Harvard LSD cult guru teacher Timothy Leary. Well, in a way, you could say he was right in a reverse way. Don't take LSD. Drop out of Harvard. Yes, drop out of all mind control operations. Drop out of all these universities that specialize in mind controlling you, including the LSD cult that sadly still exists. I know folks around Santa Cruz in that fucking cult. They tell me LSD will solve all your problems. We must strengthen our resolve. Trust your essence so profoundly that after leaving you cannot be tricked. As Anne Marie Uber says, you have to be your own authority and will yourself back to yourself, or will yourself to the mother, as others say. Will yourself to the essence beyond the pleroma. Do not go to the tunnel of light. Tune in to the truth. The dark side realm, like their morality, is a fake, an imitation, like the morality of Abrahamic religions and the government and the mainstream media. It's all a fake. It's all inverted. Turn on the gnosis and awareness. There's your real morality. Learn to be as harmless as you can, as discerning as possible. Turn on gnosis and awareness of Christ Sophia consciousness and prop out of the siphoning matrix soul scalpers shitfest. Propel your soul out of it. Get your essence out of that shithole called the Loosh farm. Can you be comfortable as a spark in the darkness? Can you walk in the darkness where you don't know what's going on and be not terrified? Are you going to be terrified without Yahweh to force you to do things? Without Daddy God to coerce you around? Or the beautiful Mother Earth to tempt you back? Are you going to be kosher without the laws of kosher? Are you going to be okay as a fragment or an essence, a divine spark of Christ Sophia way out in the darkness with no map, like a hummingbird traveling for thousands and maybe millions of miles instead of thousands with no map? Will you feel comfortable then? These are things you might want to think about when asking that big question we all contemplate about leaving. Who are you without the constant archon targeting and harvesting? As the Zen koan goes, what did your face look like before you were born? As my advertisement says, what will your face look like after the forced death system is over. We must learn to let go of dogma, roles, and self-importance, because those are all part of the matrix and part of the fleshy world of the shitting body. With strong discernment and discipline, you can disappear to the vampire gods mostly, at least to a degree. Learn to be in it but not of it, as the cliche says. Become neutral. Become socially neutral. Socially, don't respond to the bullshit attempts to harvest your energy all the time. Learn that discipline so that you can actually mostly disappear to the scumbags of the controllers. Over the years, you can learn to keep your essence. Over years of practice, you can learn to train your essence, or the real part of your soul, to never give these demonic entities pretending that they're gods your head ever again. Mostly. And if you can do that, and then take 3 deep breaths, and you will be free, my children. Loving you, folks.